Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
It's the most difficult, most complicated, craziest qualifying procedure in all of sim racing, and 9 drivers are vying for pole position for the 4th annual ISOWC Indianapolis 500, powered by And1 Design and in benefit of Orphan Secure. We've got 9 drivers getting set to go for one run to determine who will get pole position for this event, and also who will actually line up in the top 3 rows for the 500-mile race, which will take place next Sunday, 4 PM GMT, exclusively live here on RaceSpotTV. Will Vincent along with Dave Judson. They've got the gang back together, 9 very fast drivers about to do battle at the world's greatest racetrack.
Yes sir, Mr. Vincent. P1 has secured all 9 places. John Paquin and his group have done a very good job finding the speed they need to be starting at the front, which one of their teammates is guaranteed to do. It'll be interesting to see where it all sorts out.
And the track will be closed. Practice in just 1 moment's time will complete. 30 seconds left on the play clock for practice. Your 9 drivers, Budweiser, in this order they will go out to qualify. Budweiser, Ron Black, Jennifer King, Daniel Olszewski, Bradley Walters, Sam Bonzet, Rick Music, John Paquin, and Mitch McCracken. Now, McCracken was the fastest when it came to the pole day qualifying. However, we've seen some of the times from Paquin in this practice. He looks mighty quick right now. It's going to be a great battle between Paquin and McCracken, especially for pole position. 2 qualifying maestros.
You guys at the top of the game with the fastest setups out there. It'll be very interesting to see who can put it all together and get it done when it counts.
So the track is now closed. You'll see drivers bringing themselves onto pit road, and qualifying runs will commence with Budweiser. Now, Budweiser is a driver who has done so much at Indianapolis. He's probably turned more laps than anyone else here at this racetrack.
John Paquin's very experienced at...
We're talking about Weiser here.
Oh, Weiser, I'm sorry.
Get it right.
I'm sorry, I'm still new at this. Yeah, Bud lives for Indy. I think he runs a race or a simulated race almost every day, maybe except for Christmas. So it'll be interesting to see if he can put all that together and put up a pole time.
Indeed so. Budweiser in the number 67 car coming out then. And the way procedures will work is the drivers will get themselves an out lap, a warm-up lap, and then 4 timed laps. The average of those 4 timed laps will determine what their overall time, their overall speed is, and eventually, Dave, it will determine what their starting position will be for this event. Now, I'm having a look back, and Budweiser, a 38.187, Flies by a couple of thousandths of seconds, but we do know he always has something left in the tank for these Fast 9 sessions.
Yeah, Bud's a guy who's really good at closing the deal, putting the fast laps together when he needs to. It's going to be really fun to see, you know, which one of the P1 guys can have bragging rights over the others and can put the 4 solid laps together, not make any mistakes, not be an inch off anywhere. Because if you're an inch off, that could give you the, you know, the difference between taking pole or heck, maybe even starting 5th. I mean, it's going to be really tight.
So here comes Budweiser out of corner number 4. Green flag for Budweiser. First run of Fast 9 session for the ISOWC Indianapolis 500 starts. Wait for it, Dave. Now.
Bud makes it through turn 1 cleanly because his warm-up lap was quite quick at a 38.278. So we know the warm-up lap doesn't mean anything, but it bodes well for the rest of the run.
Indeed so. You see working themselves down the back straight away on the first of his 4 time laps. Now expect these averages to be somewhere within the 38.1 range. We will potentially see a couple of laps in the 38.0 range, but I think we've only seen about 2 or 3 of them all weekend long, and they've all come from that one person. That is John Paquin. First lap on the board, Budweiser, a 38.202. Not a bad start.
Not at all. Compared to his mock run that he made before the session started, he's already 400ths up, so that's a good start for Bud.
And of course, the first one of these laps is always going to be the slowest. Now, we've noticed a little bit of a drop-off on lap number 4 as those tyres get some heat into them, get some temperature into them. Laps 2 and 3 are generally the fastest, so we do expect Bud to be now into the 38.1. He works himself out of corner number 4, back down towards the yard brick. A little bit of a wiggle there coming out of corner number 4, but he is A-OK for now. Fast start finish line is a 38.169 lap number 2.
Again, the speed just ramping up as he starts lap number 3.
And ladies and gentlemen, we do need to let you know our timing and scoring on your overlay you see can be anywhere up to 2 1,000ths of a second up. We are talking about the official, official times. Of course, we will confirm these at the conclusion of each run. But 2 laps in the books, 2.5 laps in the books. Work himself through corner number 3. 5 corners left to go now for Budweiser. As he comes out of corner number 4, he will see the white flag this time by. Will it be a good solid 3rd lap for Weiser in that number 67 car? He will come past start finish line, and it is a 38.167. So very consistent laps 2 and 3 there, Dave.
Very consistent, but he's probably a little disappointed in that speed because in his mock run he was 3,000ths faster, 300ths faster. So we'll see if he can make up for it on his final lap.
Out of the back straight away for the final time. Just 2 corners now left to go in towards turn number 3. This is the most difficult corner on the racetrack as far as the wing goes, the tightness off the car. Then through turn number 4, the car likes to get a little bit loose on exit. He will work himself out of corner number 4 for the final time, and he will see the checkered flag this time by. Budweiser's 4th lap is a 38.138, a 4-lap average, Dave, of a 38.169.
Well, just amazing the speed that P1 and then Budweiser have, and he kind of bucked the trend a little bit. The 4th lap was the fastest lap of the run, so we'll see if his teammates are able to continue that, or if maybe he was able to pull something out of the bag there.
So next up on track will be Ron Black. A good opening run there for Budweiser, and not really much you can say at this point. You've got nothing to compare yourself against, but that first run is always important because it sets that tone for the rest of this section.
Me personally, as a driver, I kind of like to go out first just to put my laps in, be done with it, and because sometimes when I had something to compare to, it kind of put me on too much of an edge, and I always would fall off the wrong side of the edge. So, but these guys are a little more skilled than I, so I'm sure that won't affect them as much. But yet, I like to be the leader, let the other guys try to chase me down.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget you can head over to RaceSpotTV, RaceSpot.tv/live for complete timing and scoring and updates of qualifications progress, including this, the Fast 9. Get all the fastest times, literally to the minute. The biggest production RaceSpotTV does all year, getting this Indy 500 setup going. And I think this year, Dave, it's one of the most entertaining that we've had as far as the time's concerned. A lot faster than what we expected.
Yeah, well, the weather conditions really provide a lot of extra grip, which allows the teams to trim the aero out of the car, aka reduce the wing angles, which makes the car slicker on the straightaways. So more speed on the straights. I mean, these guys are just flying through these corners too. This DW12 has so much downforce in it, even with minimum wing, you can really just hammer it through these corners if you get it just right. There's a lot of speed out there, and it's a matter of finding it. And P1's definitely done a good job, and I'm sure Ron Black's going to get all he can out of it in this run here.
It has been a while since we've seen Ron Black hit Indianapolis Motor Speedway in an IndyCar. You see in that black, red, and white Audi Howard P1 machine working themselves out of corner number 4. He will get the green flag this time by Ron Black. Begins his run, green flag.
Ron Black a little slower warm-up lap, but he might have been trying to save his tires a little bit for later in the run, and man, that was close out of turn 1.
That was very close to the wall, out of corner. I mean, a bit of a wiggle there out of turn number 2 as well, I saw from Ron. So it's been an interesting start to the run, but we'll stick with him as he works himself down into turn number 3 for this first lap. Turn number 3 is just picture perfect for him. In that number 22 car, bringing it down now in towards turn number 4. First lap time will come up in just 1 moment's time. Don't forget, Weisert's first lap was a 38.202, and for Black it's going to be a 38.303. Incredibly slow first lap.
Yeah, Ron's going to be very disappointed with that lap. Turn 1 really got screwed up, and then he came out of turn 2 really low. He didn't let the car float out enough, which probably scrubbed a lot of speed off. He's going to have to take the rest of this run to try to even make that up. And well, I'm not sure if he can make that up. I mean, 1/10 of a second is a huge amount of time to lose in a 4-lap run here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And not only is it that one lap, potentially, but it's then also into the next lap as well, because you're just losing speed throughout turns number 3 and 4. It will take potentially a lap to gain it back. Second lap on the border, 1:9.6. He does respond, but still lower than Budweiser at this stage of the game. Ron Black now halfway through his run, and he is looking as though he will be almost half a temp slow, and again a little bit loose out of turn 2 that time.
Very loose, and took that lower line out of the corner, scrubbing speed off again. Ron just doesn't have the car right now where he wants it.
And of course, one run, make it or go home. Well, I say go home, come back into the P9. White flag out for Ron Black this time by, and another wiggle that time out of corner number 4. He will get the white flag. 2.5 miles left to go for Ron Black. Third lap is a 38.250.
Well, I think at this point, Ron's just try to bank a solid lap here. Hope he doesn't, crash the car in qualifying, and he's just going to have to take what he gets. Luckily for him, it's fast 9. The worst he's going to start is 9.
Yes, indeed so, as he works himself down towards turn number 3 one more time. Down towards turn number 3 he will go. Just one more corner as he works himself now out of corner number 4. Will this be a better lap for Ron Black? It's about now just tries to piece anything he can together. He will come past the start-finish line, and Ron Black does himself a 4-lap average of a fourth lap of 38.226, and that gives a 4-lap average there of a 38.244, 235.333 miles an hour. And up next will be Jennifer King, and King is going to go out here today in the number 47 car there for Jennifer King, coming out on track in just 1 moment's time.
Oh, I think Mr. Black's going to be kicking himself a little bit. 2 interesting turn 2s on his run really killed the speed on his 4-lap average, and we'll see where that shakes out. But definitely didn't have the lap times to. I don't think he'll be on the front row with that kind of speed.
Running for pole is so difficult because, of course, running to get into the fast line is one thing. Anyone you're actually in the fast line session, yes, you've got the buffer, you know you can't be bumped out the field. At the same time, the world is watching you, and it's so minute, the differences. I think that all started out at turn number 1 that last time. Potentially making a change, it didn't work, we saw it in that first corner. Having a look at Jennifer King's outlap does look very smooth so far, and we'll get a very good indication of her speed again through that warm-up lap, Dave.
Yeah, warm-up lap is, it's a throwaway lap. This is really where you want to get up to speed, kind of feel the track out, feel the weather out one last time, and kind of know where your car is going to be for when you really got to go for it in those 4 laps.
So Jennifer King working herself out of corner number 2. Confirmation Ron Black, second place for him for the time being, out of the 2 runners. After Jennifer King, we are going to have Daniel Olszewski and then Bradley Waters. These 9 drivers will go out one after the other until we get to our final runner, which will be Mitch McCracken, because he was the fastest in pole day qualifying yesterday. Green flag in the air for Jennifer King.
Well, green flag is up. Her warm-up lap was a 9.5, not the fastest warm-up, but yet solid. Let's see if she can avoid the mistakes of her teammate Ron Black and get these 1 and 2 solid. 1 looked good. 2 seems really good, floats out to the wall. Car did not get loose, able to maintain the speed down the back straightaway. We'll see where that comes out for lap 1.
Yes, and so it was a slow lap 1 and 3 for a Black, but the first lap does look good for Jennifer King. Work herself out of turn number 4. I'm thinking that this could be possibly even a 1 for the first lap, and this could be interesting here come past the start-finish line, and it's going to be a 38.207, so slower than Weiser, faster than Ron Black at this stage of the game, but still a lot of room for improvement for King, and we do know these cars get faster with every single lap.
Well, I think what's going to be important here is if King can maintain this speed and nail that 3rd lap, where Bud made a little mistake and his car ended up being faster in the 4th lap. I think if King can nail the 3rd lap and then just follow through with a 4th, she may be able to steal P1 at the moment. But time will tell. We still got a long way to go.
Halfway through the run, expecting a 1 here from Jennifer King, and it is going to be a 38.190. That is almost 2/100ths of a second slower, over 2/100ths of a second slower than Budweiser. Currently running in 2nd place at the halfway point in the run, down the back straightaway. Now this is consistent, and it's going to be, I'd say, easily top 5 if the way things carry on, but not got the speed of Budweiser. He hangs on. His qualifying time actually looking a little bit better than we expected here.
Yeah, well, she is very consistent. Car looks really good going through the corners. I haven't seen that car get wiggly or anything at all as she's coming down the straight for her 3rd lap time. 167, very quick.
Which is actually the same lap 3 as Budweiser did. The white flag is out for Jennifer King. Now, in order to get herself up into provisional pole position, she will need probably an 11, and she was very high out of corner number 2 that time by. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Her lap so far has been 38.207, 38.190, 38.167. Right now, looking as though she will slot into the 2nd place for the ISOWC Indianapolis 500 as it stands. But as she comes past the start-finish line, I do think this lap might be a little bit slower. And the answer is yes, it is. A little bit slower there for Jennifer King. A 38.175. That is a 4-lap average there for Jennifer King, which is coming up on our timing and scoring in just 1 moment's time. A 4-lap average for Jennifer King of a 38.185, placing her 2nd place, 235.696 miles an hour. And next up on track will be Daniel Olszewski.
Very solid, consistent run for Miss King. Probably happy with that.
And again, this is what we were talking about a moment ago. Budweiser, yes, you're first one out. Yes, you're, not necessarily knowing where you're going to be. But at the same time, what you are doing is you're putting pressure on the other people. They now have to deliver the lap time that you've set. The pressure's completely off Bud for now. All he can do is sit there and wait.
Yeah, Bud has the luxury of all he has to do is worry about himself. That's it. He puts in his laps, and very solid laps at that so far, and he's done. All other 8 guys got to worry about everyone else that runs in front of him. So that the pressure just pounds as we go through this Fast 9 session.
And so now it is Daniel Olszewski out onto the racetrack, working himself out of corner number 4 on this, his warm-up lap. He'll get the green flag next time by. And Daniel Olszewski is a veteran here in the series.
Yeah, Dan's been around a long time. The aging veteran of the IndyCar series. Haven't seen him run a bunch lately, but when it comes to these big races, he always shows up and shows well.
235.696, confirmation there of Jennifer King's time, putting her into 2nd place. And it is still Budweiser who leads the way as 3 drivers are in the books. The 4th one of those is going to be Daniel Olszewski. He worked himself out of corner number 4, and he will get the green flag this time by.
Green flag is up, 295 for his warm-up lap, about pretty much what we've seen so far. Still a pretty decent lap. We'll see if he can build the momentum.
Pencil car there of Daniel Olszewski working himself out of 2 for the first time. And again, nice out of 2, a little bit of a wiggle, but sometimes actually, sometimes you're carrying the speed momentum. That's not a huge deficit. Through corner number 3, not that bad. Again, down towards the light line, below the white line, then back up, arcing into corner number 4. Now, these cars can get loose out of 4, and this time, nice, smooth exit for Olszewski. His first lap comes to our start-finish line. It will be a 38.198, fastest lap we've seen so far for lap number 1 all day there.
Very good start to the run. Let's see if he can continue for 3 more laps. We all know it's real difficult to do, but these guys, when they're right on it, they can nail it. Car's looking good.
Now, in pole day qualifying, Olszewski on his first run had issues on lap number 2 and 3. He got it all together for his second run as he got mighty close to the outside retaining wall there, out of corner number 3, works himself out of turn number 4. We're going to get the halfway part of the run, this time by Daniel Olszewski. 198 his first lap, a 161 for lap number 2. This is, again, fastest lap we've seen for lap 2 so far. Halfway point of the run. This looks as though this could be on target for a potentially 38.15 here.
Dan's using up every inch of the track. He's doing it just right. He's not getting loose. He's not losing momentum. He's not scrubbing speed off. He's probably like a centimeter away from that curb. You touch that curb, it's going to kill your lap. He's like a centimeter away from the wall coming out of the corners, but he's not touching it.
Parking it perfectly. He will see the white flag this time by Daniel Olszewski. Lap number 3 will be a 39.132. Again, the fastest that we've seen so far. Olszewski is on it. One just now. 2.5 corners left to go, Dave.
Oh, he hit the curb in 2. That might really hurt him. We'll see.
Down the back straight away then. Just now. 2 more corners to go for Daniel Olszewski. He is part of the only father-daughter combination to qualify for the ISOWC Indianapolis 500. That was back in 2011. Works himself out of corner number 4. Down towards the yard of bricks for the final time. His 4th lap will be a 39.180. Lost it at the line there. But a 4-lap average of a 38.168. 1/1000th of a second ahead of Budweiser, moving himself into pole position. Next driver out onto the racetrack will be Bradley Walters. And Dave, 1/1000th of a second. This is what we're going to be talking about now as we get into the next 5 drivers. Thousandths of a second, but Olszewski hangs on, and you're right, that curb did hurt him.
Well, we're not talking about 1/1000th for 1 lap. We're talking about over 4 laps. The only difference was 1/1000th of a second. What is that? A half an inch?
Yeah.
Over 10 miles. 1 inch was the difference between P1 and starting second so far. That's crazy.
I have to say, there have been a couple of people here in qualifications who have been even closer than that. Tim Miller and TM Hauser stand out. They're not running in this session, but they are separated with exactly the same speed as it goes, but they have basically 0.002 miles per hour difference between those 2 drivers. Dave, over 4 laps. That is crazy.
Yeah, well, and people only say David when I'm in trouble, so... Well, you know, I do kind of hear it a lot, given that fact. Bradley Waters out of the track doing his warm-up lap right now. He could give 2 you-know-whats about, who's calling me what. He's focused. He's about to hit this green flag coming out here shortly as he comes through turn 4.
Yeah, Bradley Walters will get the green flag this time by, and he begins his 4 laps here. Good warm-up there, 38.263 for Bradley Walters as he comes down into turn 1. Little bit loose into the center of turn number 1.
Yeah, car seemed to float up a little bit, like you said earlier. If he didn't scrub any speed off, that could be quite fine for him.
So then, after this run, we'll have Sam Bonset, Rich Music, John Paquin, and Mitch McCracken. But We are focusing all our attention now on Bradley Walters in the number 56 P1 racing car as he works himself out of corner number 4. We will get our indication of lap number 1 this time as he comes past the start-finish line. 38.222 there for Bradley Walters. That's actually the slowest that we've seen, so potentially that turn 1 drift has really cost him a chance of getting himself into the top couple of rows.
Yeah, well, turn 1 lap 1. Sometimes the pressure gets to you there going in the first corner. You slip up just a little bit. He nailed turns 1 and 2 a little better this lap, but to recover all that speed may be impossible given the fact that only 1/10 of a second separates P1 and P2 right now.
Fastest lap so far, Daniel Olszewski's third lap, a 38.132. Budweiser second lap, a 38.138. And we are noticing overall that the fourth lap is slower than the third. Into the halfway point of the run, a 38.176 there for Bradley Walters. He covered there on lap 2. He's still got to do a bit more work to try and get ahead of Ron Black. In fact, I think he'll be ahead of Ron Black, but struggling to catch up to the rear of King, I think, right now.
Yeah, I think Walters is just got to just nail these last 2 laps and kind of see where it shakes out. If he's thinking about other people right now, he's going to be losing speed. He's just got to focus on where to put that car in these last lap as he comes down to complete lap 3.
Yep, so white flag this time by Bradley Walters, a 38.131. Best lap of the day so far for Bradley Walters. That is a way to respond as he works himself now through turn number 2 for the final time. Talking about the fact it's going to be hard to challenge Jennifer King, I think that one might just have changed.
Yeah, that was a very solid lap. Let's see if he can continue it one more time. If he can break the trend and make lap 4 faster than his third lap, then he might have a shot at it.
If he can get into 38.12s, or dare I say the 38.11s, he will have the opportunity to potentially challenge for pole position. He works himself out of corner number 4, Bradley Walters, coming past the start-finish line. Will it be a fast lap for him as he crosses the yard and breaks the 38.104, and that will put him up into pole position there. So pole position for Bradley Walters. 4th lap, 38.104, 4-lap average of 235.860 miles an hour. Pole position, and next up on track will be Sam Bonzit. What a final last lap then. It shows every single lap, even if you have a bad first lap, you can attempt to recover it.
And recover it, he did. Buck the trend, fastest lap so far on lap 4 to get pole position tentatively right now. I mean, great comeback. He didn't let that turn 1 shake him for the rest of the run. He, put his nose to the grindstone and got it done so far.
And we will just check in one moment's time once we update the website whether or not that is the fastest lap that we have seen today. We are going to check that one because that 1:04, we didn't get anyone break into the 30.0, so it is the fastest lap that we have seen all qualifying long. We're just having a look, and there we are. It is a 1-lap record so far then for that driver just went out, Bradley Walters. Great stuff by him.
Great job. It's nice to see sometimes a guy who's not a regular in the IndyCar series, like the Open Series or whatever, come out there and bust off a good lap. I mean, he's obviously done a ton of practice to get that down. Or, sometimes you just get lucky. It could be a combination of both, but it's nice to see regardless.
Now, Sam Bonzet, expect some good things of him. Qualified for the ISOWC Indianapolis 500 before. Green flag for Sam Bonzet as he works himself down towards turn number 1 day.
Let's see if he can nail turn 1. So far, so good. Comes out of the corner a little shallow, but no, it doesn't look like he lost any speed. So, good start for the run.
Working himself down the back straight away for the first time. Not a bad one. A little bit of a wiggle. Not too much. Not that bad at all at number 14 car. Down to turn number 3 and 4 for the first time. Nice run through 3. And let's see if he can arc it through 4. I think he's going to arc it nicely there, Dave. Indeed he does.
Yes, Sam's making that car look good. We'll see if the speed goes along with it.
So lap number 1 for Walters, for Bonzet even, a 38.215. So again, a little bit slow, but we did see the last driver who set the slow lap 1 go blisteringly quick in laps 2 and 3 and 4. I'm wondering, Dave, potentially these guys are just saving the tyres a tiny bit on lap 1.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to nail a good first lap, knocking the tires off early, and then really go for it the last 2 laps. So we'll see if that's the case. Sam's coming through 3 and 4. As he's coming through 4, right along the line, doesn't hit the curb, comes out of 4 really nicely. He's going to come down and complete halfway point.
So halfway point of the run for Sam Bonset then, a 38.215 for lap number 1, 35.1, so 38.184 for Sam Bonset on lap number 2. Now that was, as it stands right now, he just tagged the wall there.
Yeah, he definitely hit the wall there coming out of 2, and that's going to kill this lap.
Yeah, I'm just having a look actually. We'll get our replay, we'll see if we can get a replay after this run. He was as close as he can to hitting it, or he did just white wall. And of course, we do know a number of Indy 500 champions saying you have to just touch that wall sometimes. But that car does look a little bit looser now. Conclusion of lap number 3. Let's see what the damage is. A 38.185 doesn't cost him anything.
Wow, then, you know, if there was another layer up on that wall, I think he would have hit it. He must have been really close. The butterflies have got to be churning in here. He's coming out of it wide again, but stays away from the wall. See if he can finish this run up strongly.
He did seem to scrub a little bit more speed that time through turn number 2. I did hear a little bit of tyre squirrel as he works himself down in towards turn number 3. Now, right now, he will likely slot into 5th position ahead of Ron Black, but behind Jennifer King. He will need something pretty good on this final lap to move himself ahead of King. But don't think Wise's going to be any competition here. Past the start-finish line, and it's going to be a 38.218. He did scrub speed there on that final lap in turn number 2. You have an almost moment, Dave, and potentially it just harms you completely. We'll talk about that in a moment, though. Yeah, in fact, you can talk about that one right now.
Yeah, well, you know, getting so squirrely off of 2 on this lap 3, when he came through there again on the 4th lap, I think he was worried about not hitting that wall again, and I think he kind of overcompensated and lost a lot of speed there, which led to the slower final lap. Sometimes those tricky corners will haunt you. If you screw it up once, you kind of keep screwing it up till you really get your head right.
Indeed, and Rick Music now out onto the racetrack. I'm sure these guys are having a competition to see how quickly we can get things updated on the RaceSpotTV page. But Rick Music now on track. Not a driver we know much about, but he's had some incredible speed this weekend.
Yeah, relative newcomer to the IndyCar and the DW12, but with the tutelage of John Paquin and the P1 guys and gals, he's up to speed quickly, as shown by qualifying in the top 9 and having the chance to go run for pole here.
So then, this warm-up lap we've seen being critical for some of these drivers. What do you think we're going to see from Rick Music as he works himself down the back straight away?
Well, if his warm-up lap is any indication of how the run's going to go, it's going to be kind of inconsistent. He's kind of all over the place. He's up against the wall, ducking away from it. Maybe he's just trying to shake the jitters off right now. We'll see if he's able to translate what he's learning on the warm-up lap to a good run.
Looking themselves then out of corner number 4, green flag for Rick Music as he comes down. Warm-up lap for Music is going to be a 38.280. That's actually, again, same ballpark we've seen from these other drivers.
Yeah, they're really not holding back much on the warm-up lap, so kind of just watching him go through 2, and the car just looks a little jumpy, like it's not quite where he wants it to be. It's just kind of moving around a lot more than some of his teammates.
And of course, that car moving around can be a good thing, but you have to be able to control it, keep that speed reduction to a minimum. We'll get an indication of where he is in just one moment's time as they work themselves out of corner number 4. Lap number 1 for Rick Music as he comes past the fabled yard of bricks is going to be a 38.187. It looked a little bit slow, but it was mighty fast.
Yeah, well, he's got that car just on the knife edge of, you know, control versus out of control, and he's working it well so far. Let's see if he can finish it off.
That was the fastest lap 1 that we have seen all day, eclipsing the 39.198 we saw by Daniel Olszewski. Of course, after this, just 2 drivers to go. John Paquin and Mitch McCracken coming through turn number 4 to complete his 2nd lap. Rick Music at the halfway point. What has he got? Anything in the 6s will be good for him. Coming past the yard of bricks, it will be a 38.158. Music is on the move.
Music is on the move, and he's doing something different that I hadn't seen anyone else do. He's pulling away from the wall in the straights. I wonder if that's giving him a little extra speed.
It's almost a Dario Franchitti line, and we did notice that at one point in his career. Dario Franchitti used to do the same thing. He'd arc out, then arc back in 242 miles an hour as he comes down in towards turn number 3. He will see the white flag as he comes out of corner number 4. Now he needs another good lap because laps number 3 for Walters and Olszewski were strong. But will we see a 38.12 here? 38.118. What a lap there. Now this, so long as he can keep it together, will be provisional pole position. He is ahead of Bradley Walters right now. Not by much. If he can do another 38.11, he's safe.
Well, what a blistering pace he's put on the board so far. Let's see if he can finish it. He's going to come into turn 3. He's entered it just the same as he has the previous 3 laps. Comes out of 3 really nice, doesn't hit anything, stays off the curb in 4. It's looking good, Will. I think he might be able to do it.
Oh, he touches the wall out of corner number 4. He will stay in the gas, but Rip Music potentially was going to go and get himself a 0. He does a 2.48, and that was one of those things. We need to get ourselves a replay of that. I have no idea what went wrong, and it costs him not only pole position, it puts him down into 4th place there for Rick Music. Final lap 38.248 over a run, a 38.178 puts him down in P4 for the time being. Dave, that is crazy.
Well, I'm watching the replay, and it's almost like he just let the car drift up just too much. He, just trying not to scrub that speed off, and he let it go a little too far, and ended up costing him more than he would have saved if he would have just pulled it off the wall there. But that's the risk you got to take, try to get pole.
Next up on track will be John Paquin, who has had some mixed fortunes as far as the ISOWC Indianapolis 500 fast line is gone. 2011, absolutely dominant. 2012, not so dominant. Literally lost it, looped it coming out of pit road. One of those crazy moments that hopefully we won't see from him again. But when it comes to qualifying, the next 2 guys, 2 of the best in the business. We've got ourselves John Paquin, we've got ourselves Mitch McCracken. In any given day, any one of these 2 could be pole.
Absolutely. Me personally, got to put my money on McCracken. He always is able to just, even when you think he's already fast, he finds a way to pull another extra little bit out of the bag when it really counts. Not to discount John Paquin at all, but Mitch always seems to find something somewhere, somehow, and I think he's going to be able to put it on pole position for the ISOWC Indy 500, but time will tell. I mean, I thought Music was going to have a pole there, and I jinxed him coming out of 4. I'm sorry, man.
Yes, but Paquin, the only guy we've seen going to the 0 so far, is that going to be something that might play mind games for McCracken?
Now, Mitch is really, having been his teammate at one time, he really lets nothing bother him. He doesn't care what anybody else does. He's able to he's able to put the stuff aside. I'm not going to try to be fancy. Put stuff aside and just do what he has to do. He doesn't think about anybody else.
Green flag. The green flag out for John Paquin as he comes down in towards turn number 1. 2.42. Best warm-up lap we've seen so far, Dave.
Well, he's thrown a gauntlet on the warm-up lap for sure. We'll see if he can translate that for 4 laps. I mean, his teammate Rick Music was almost able to do it. He was perfect in 15 to 16 corners.
Yes, and it was actually 16 or 16 corners. It was coming out of turn 4, that was the issue. But for John Paquin, it was almost a J.R. Hildebrand in some ways, but not many. Almost a Thomas Scheckter at the same time. Paquin, lap number 1, going to come up on the board in just 1 moment's time. We know it's going to be a 38. Will it be a 38.1? It's going to be a 38.159 for John Paquin, as he is 1/4 of the way into his journey. And just to give you a bit of an indication, I'm having a look through the timing stats. That's faster than everyone's lap 1 and most people's lap 2, with the exception of Rick Music.
Yeah, even compared to his mock run that he did before the session started, that first lap was faster than his mock run, and he was able to run an O on his final lap, so we'll see if he can put that all together.
Coming out of turn number 4, this will be a low 1 at worst. John Paquin, a 38.131. So again, faster than everyone else for lap 2, faster for everyone except for Music for lap 3. Walters also did a 131 on lap 3, but this looks as though this 3rd lap will be probably a 38.10, then looking for potentially an 09 on lap number 4, Dave.
Well, he's flying. He's almost hitting 243 going into turn 3. That's incredible speed.
And it's momentum as well. You get the momentum on one lap, that will carry you on to the next, Dave.
Comes out of 4, makes it look effortless. Car looks really good as he's coming down to complete the 3rd lap.
Third lap will be a 38.113, so it is close, and he is about 5/100ths of a second faster, lap on lap, through laps number 2 and 3, compared to piece of mock run. And again, that 3rd lap is faster than everyone else except for Bradley Waters' 4th lap. Now, we have seen some of these guys slow down, but Paquin has been improving on this 4th lap. He'll work himself through turn number 3 for the final time, down towards turn number 4. John Paquin, will he get himself into the zeros? This is clearly going to be provisional pole position unless he does a music. He doesn't. He works himself towards the start-finish line. John Paquin, a 38.098.
He's got to have it with that O lap. I mean, that incredibly fast. Faster every lap. He didn't let the 4th lap thing bug him.
And it's a 38.125, 236.064 miles per hour. The only driver to have gone faster in 236 has been Mitch McCracken. Mitch is up next. Only 2 drivers into the 236 mile per hour range. Only 1 driver into the 38.0s. That is McCracken. It is a new 1-lap record.
When it comes to single car runs, I don't think anybody's within Paquin. Given 1 lap, let's see if he can hold that for 4 laps. Mitch is going to be very strong competition. Man, just coming out of the pits, he's showing he wants it. I mean, he's right up against it. He's getting
He does.
He's trying to build that momentum as much as he can because he knows every 1,000th of a mile an hour is going to mean something.
And 236 mile per hour for John Paquin. 236.064 for him that last run. Puts him himself on provisional pole position. Great run. If there's anyone who could beat him, that is going to be the guy who's just coming past, complete his outlap. That is Mitch McCracken.
Mitch has definitely got a good shot at it. Mentally tough, fast driver. Unique setup. He runs with a ton of force feedback. At least he did when I was his teammate. That gives him a lot of feel in the car, and I think he's able to really pinpoint where he wants the car to go. Let's see if he's able to use that to his advantage today, or if his teammate John Paquin will be able to get the best of him.
So we have had 8 drivers. This is the 9th. Mitch McCracken comes past start-finish line. Green flag in the air for Mitch McCracken to start our final run of the day.
Right up there where he needs to be on the warm-up lap.
That warm-up lap, I'm actually having a look. I think that was within 1/1000th of a second. Indeed it was. It was 1/1000th of a second slower than John Paquin's warm-up lap.
It's hard to even say anything, Will, right now. It's just kind of like entranced by how fast this car goes and how Mitch is able to just put the car where it needs to be, right under the line but away from the curb, up to the wall but not touching it, through turn 4, right on the line, out of turn 4, right where it needs to be. It's a work of art, really.
Lap 1, will he go faster than Paquin's lap 1? It's going to be a 38.169. He's 1/100th of a second slower right now.
Right on the curve for turn 1, floats it out of 2. Probably didn't lose any speed there, but just looked a little off from what he was normally running.
So we'll get a better indication once they come past start-finish line. First lap for Paquin, a 38.159. First lap for McCracken, a 38.169. Literally 1/100th of a second separating these 2 drivers as they get closer to the halfway point. Here comes McCracken out of corner number 4. Will he be able to improve? Now, Paquin did a 38.131. That was the fastest of all these people so far. Can McCracken go faster? The answer to that question is going to be no, a 38.146. It does look as though Paquin right now has got this pole position locked up.
Now, still a long way to go, even though it's only 2 laps, it's still a long way to go for Indy qualifying. We'll see if Mitch is able to dig deep and pull something out of here in the 3rd and 4th lap.
So down in towards turn number 3 and 4 for what will be the 3rd lap out of 4. Will McCracken do it? A bit of a wiggle there in turn number 3 as well, Dave.
Yeah, he's pushing it as hard as he can. If I know Mitch, he's on it. As they used to say at Indy for qualifying, as he's coming down the complete lap 3.
And lap number 3 for McCracken, a 38.114. That again just is 1/1000th of a second slower than Paquin. Now, I'm doing the math in my head, and it's going to require a 38.095, I think. No, it's not. It's going to require actually a 38.08 in order to get himself into pole position. So it's going to be very tough now for McCracken. He will work himself out of turn number 4 for the final time. What will his final lap be? The final qualifier. Who will get pole position? Will it be McCracken? Will it be Paquin? The answer is going to be Mitch McCracken. Past the start finish line 1:08. That puts him second. A 38.134 from Mitch McCracken puts him in second place, 236.008 miles per hour. But what that does mean, Dave, your pole position driver for the 2014 ISOWC Indianapolis 500 is John Paquin.
John Paquin was able to step up when he needed to, put down 4 absolutely blazing fast laps, secures the pole for the Indy 500. Now I'm sure he's hoping the start of this race will go a little better than the iRacing Indy 500, where I believe he was not even able to lead a lap.
Yep, so here we come, then. We have got ourselves 9 drivers. We're going to step aside for just one moment, take ourselves a quick break, sort some stuff out, and then we'll be back with a couple of highlights and some more information from this. What a great 9 drivers we have just had. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Pole position for the 2014 ISOWC Indianapolis 500, powered by and won a design and in benefit of Orphan Secure, is complete, and it is John Paquin with a 4-lap average of a 38.125 who scores his second ISOWC Indianapolis 500 pole position. Mitch McCracken will line up in the middle of row number 1 with Bradley Walters on the outside. Row number 2 will be Daniel Olszewski on the inside, Budweiser in the middle, and Rick Music on the outside. And then finally, row 3, Jennifer King on the inside, Sam Bonsit on the middle, and then it will be Ron Black on the outside as the race will take place next Sunday, the 21st of September. Very special start time of 4 PM GMT, all 500 laps here live on RaceSpotTV. And Dave, whilst you're on break, did a little bit of stat counting. Mitch McCracken did a 38.134 at last one, so he actually did go faster than what he did in whole day qualifying, but John Paquin had an improvement of 11 one-thousandths of a second, which is that's what we're talking about, 11 one-thousandths of a second from being behind McCracken in qualifying earlier yesterday, being ahead of McCracken when it matters.
Yeah, it's amazing how tight these fields can be, and especially also considering that you know that P1 teammates of Paquin and McCracken, if not using the same setup, very similar. So to just being able to find that much time between probably identical sets gives you, kind of a view into kind of driver these guys are.
But you did say, yes, it might be very similar as far as the engineering side of the car goes, but McCracken, for example, you said earlier, used to use a very heavy wheel, and some of these drivers, they'll each have slightly different ways they prefer to set up the mechanical part of the car, be it their wheel, and like what the grips they were, the way they hold the wheel, the sort of materials they use, the actual wheel itself that they use. These differences, it tunes to each driver, so one driver can't jump out of their virtual ring and jump into another and necessarily be as fast. But overall, 11 one-thousandths of a second difference for Paquin, but still McCracken, very consistent. 2 one-thousandths of a second, 1 one-thousandth of a second even, is the difference between his run yesterday and his run today. And I'm actually comparing the lap times between the two of them. Lap 1, 1 one-thousandth different. Lap 2 for McCracken was a little bit faster in his run earlier. His third lap was a little bit slower in his run earlier. And then his fourth lap was again a little bit faster than the run that he did. So McCracken had some very good lap times in. I don't think though, unless he got into the 38.0s, he would have had a chance to really beat Paquin here today.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking over the stats. It's just amazing that one team was able to get together just right to lock down, well, the first 11 spots and then the first 9 in qualifying. It's just, there's nothing else I can really say that I can add that would be anything that you can't read about. I mean, just an incredible effort by their team to secure the positions that they have for this prestigious event.
But we've still got plenty more action to come. We're going to go off air in just a couple of moments' time. But we have got ourselves another session, and this is the crazy 6-hour session where the rest of the field, the final, what will essentially be 24 drivers are placed for the 2014 ISOWC Indianapolis 500. Having looked down from about P28 down to about P40, it is ridiculously close in places.
Yeah, well, I'm especially looking at the tail end of the field where Adam Dock currently sits on the bubble with a 38.440 time. And Doc is in an interesting position where he has to hope no one else goes faster than him, because since he qualified on Friday, he sacrificed the rest of his attempts during the weekend. So he has to sit on that time. That's all he can do. That's as fast as he's going to be able to go. If any one person that hasn't qualified or makes another attempt bumps him, he's done.
Yep. He sat there for about 4 hours now. But again, it's that last hour. And remember last year, David, that last hour was one of the craziest things that we have ever seen.
Yeah, well, I remember, luckily, I was securely positioned for the race. I think I was like 15th last year. This year, not so much. Finally put something together where I might have enough speed to bump my way in. I haven't even made any attempts yet, so I got 3 today, and we'll see if I can get this Impact Autosport car close enough to where it needs to be to get in, and hopefully my teammate John Goke will be able to do the same. I hope at least one of us can make it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for the time being. We will be back, of course, all evening long on RaceSpotTV/live. That's our RaceSpotTV website, RaceSpot.tv/live, with all of the updates from one of the craziest 6 hours you'll experience in iRacing. It is Bump Day, Session B for the 2014 ISOWC Indianapolis 500, powered by And1 Designs and in benefit of Open Secure. Thank you very much, co-commentator Dave Judson, who was a 2013 even ISOWC champion. Not won the 500, looking to qualify to do that a little bit later on today. Thanks also to Hugo Louise, as I've been Will Vincent. This has been a RaceSpotTV presentation of the ISOWC IndyCar Series. We'll see you next Sunday, 4 PM GMT for the 500. Bye-bye.